when you talk about free agency winners, when you talk about teams that are, doing the best, help their chances to get into the playoffs, help their chances to compete for a championship, you got to start with the Denver Broncos. What they did, Greenlaw, Hufanga, two pivotal difference makers to their defense, a defense that was already top 10 defense, fringe top 5. Now you plug in players that are all pros when healthy into the spots that they needed the most work. Linebacker position wasn't, the reason why their defense was so successful. Brandon Jones, he was a fantastic safety for the Denver Broncos this year. He had 3 interceptions, 100 tackles, and you add Hufanga next to him, a Troy Polamalu kind of clone, a guy that's going to hit hard, a guy that has the ability to, cover passing lanes, fool quarterbacks, get interceptions, couple interceptions he'll take back to the house. Like, he's a difference maker. 25 years old, played in 17 games in 2022, had 95 tackles, 4 interceptions, was first team All-Pro that season. He had a 12.7 forced incompletion percentage rate. Next to Brandon Jones, that's going to be an elite safety duo, and you have Riley Moss. You have McMillan, second-year corner. Riley Moss showed promise this year, 71 tackles, made some plays. And then you have Defensive Player of the Year, Pat Surtain, who had 4 interceptions this season. He single-handedly took care of that back end of the defense, like just taking away some of the best receivers in the NFL, completely erasing them and their production for their offense. When the Denver Broncos faced them, you have Jonathan Cooper, who had 10.5 sacks. Nick Bonito was up for Defensive Player of the Year as well with 13.5 sacks. He was a difference maker off the edge. So this defense already had pieces in place. You just needed to add some more talent in certain areas. Defensive line is probably the deepest defensive line in the NFL. John Franklin Myers had 8.5 sacks. Zach Allen, 9.5 sacks. They had 6 guys on this defense with at least 5 sacks this season. They re-signed DJ Jones, a presence up the middle, a good run stopper, 30 years old. He's a 49ers guy. He gets to, reunite with Dre Greenlaw. Talanoa Hufanga improves this secondary dramatically. When he's fully healthy, you're getting a first-team All-Pro safety, one of the best safeties in the NFL, and just playing in this defense with Vance Joseph as defensive coordinator, with the pieces around him. This secondary is already better than the 49ers secondary. He didn't have a Pat Surtain next to him. Riley Moss, Brandon Jones, hard-hitting, strong safety. So the secondary is better. He just has to be healthy, and that's what the Broncos are betting on. You get both guys for 3-year deals, essentially pretty cheap. The 49ers let these guys walk away. I like Dre Greenlaw in this linebacker room. He's another guy. If he's fully healthy, he's one of the top 5 best linebackers in the NFL. Even coming off that, Achilles injury he had in the Super Bowl, the games he played, couple games he played last year for the 49ers, he didn't lose a step. He looked like that same player. He's able to just recognize offenses, dial up plays, just a smart ass linebacker, a player that's reading things before it happens, not fooled by pass fakes. He's just an intelligent player, and he will be 28 this season. In his last 2 full seasons, he earned an 88.9 PFF grade, the 3rd highest among all linebackers in the NFL. He really never got the spotlight because of a Nick Bosa, because of a Fred Warner, but this was one of the heart and souls of that 49ers team that went to a couple Super Bowls. Dre Greenlaw and Hufanga, both guys are going to elevate this Broncos defense tremendously. I'm excited to see how this defense looks. This defense could be a championship winning defense. Like, they could take this team to the next level. If you thought the Broncos defense was good last year, underrated, people, John Gruden called them the anonymous crush, but no, they have people, they have names now. I thought, the Broncos, this offense, how they structured it, it was for Bo Nix to be in the best position to succeed. Check downs, underneath, routes, just getting the ball out quick to playmakers and stuff, making it easier for this rookie quarterback in his transition in the NFL. And he did a good job. Sean Payton did a good job calling this offense and making sure that, Bo Nix was successful. And they went to the playoffs. Bo Nix had a pretty good year. His numbers were good. But he struggled when defenses forced him to do more and forced him to create things on his own, forced him to make plays on his own and play outside of the offense and outside of the scheme. Getting a guy like Evan Ingram's going to help that, though. Getting a guy like Evan Ingram's going to help this offense continue to grow and help Bo Nix continue to develop as a quarterback. Evan Engram can be that guy that is a security blanket for Bo Nix. From the tight end position, they didn't have a tight end that could do what Evan Ingram's going to be able to do. He could have an 1,000-yard season in Denver with Sean Payton. He's a top 10 tight end in the NFL when healthy. A dynamic tight end that thrives with checkdowns and running underneath routes. Versatile weapon. The Denver Broncos still can add a Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren at pick 20. Adding a playmaker to this offense gives you more flexibility with that pick. You could take Amarian Hampton. You could take the receiver Matthew Golden from Texas. Like, you have a lot of options, but Engram is going to have a big year with the Broncos. Really like this addition. Really like what it will do for Bo Nix. Now, not only is your defense a lot better, and it was already great last year, but your offense is continuing to get better. And now all they need to do is add a receiver in the draft or a running back in the draft. This running back class is deep. So maybe you go Matthew Golden or Luther Burden at pick 20. And then you take a Judkins or you take a Henderson from Ohio State. Either one of the Ohio State running backs, and the Broncos will be back in the playoffs once again. Offense will be better, and the defense will be stifling offenses once again. It's going to be tough for the Chiefs. The Chiefs really didn't do too much to, make them better. Hollywood Brown back, Jalen Moore as their tackle potentially, bringing guys back. They really didn't do too much to make them that much better, and it seems like every other team in that division is getting better. The Raiders got better, getting Geno Smith at quarterback. Pete Carroll's their head coach now, so they're going to add a couple more wins. Defensively, they're going to be better. With Patrick Graham coming back as their DC, Max Crosby getting a payday, and everybody coming back healthy. So they get a Genty or maybe they get a McMillan from Arizona. They could be even more dangerous. Having finally competent quarterback play, the Chargers, Mike Williams is back in the fold of things. They brought Khalil Mack back. Offensive line, they just got Mekhi Becton. So they're going to be better too. So the Chiefs, the margin of error isn't there anymore. The AFC West, they're not going to be running away with that division. They're not going to be going 15-1 anymore because any one of those teams could beat the Chiefs on any given Sunday. Obviously, I still take the Chiefs to win that division, but things are getting a little tougher in that division. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.